Welcome to Talking Live. I'm Dr. Robi Ludwig out of Star Shop Studio in Times Square. We are so excited to kick off our 2018 shows with Doreen Taylor. She is an award-winning singer and songwriter, and I was fortunate enough to see her in her off-Broadway debut. She's a real star. She's going to sing us some songs. She's going to tell us all about herself. Doreen, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me
being here. We have beautiful photos of you. One that I stole from your Facebook page was you in front of your marquee.
Oh,
I think we have that. Marvin, do we have that picture? There we go.
Oh, yay.
In front of 7-7 Theater. And it was really just an adorable spot to have a show and make its debut.
It's in the heart of Broadway. We were off Broadway, but we were in Broadway.
Right.
So it was you couldn't pick a better location, and really that was my dream since I was born, pretty much, to have my big mug up there, on Broadway.
I actually took pictures of it too because I was so excited. But it's great. And there you are on stage. So here we have the off-Broadway debut of An Enchanted Evening. Yes, I want it signed. I want it signed. A Night with Oscar Hammerstein. And what I did not know when I came to hear you sing, and I have to say, I went on a Saturday afternoon and I sat there and I was entranced. And what I was not expecting was to learn, because it's a docu-musical, which I have to say, I've never heard of the term before. Maybe it's a term that's...
coined it.
Oh, okay. I was going to be like, maybe...
I did my research, and you find it sometimes when it's involved with movies and things like that, but no musical theater or no theatrical piece, in my knowledge, has been ever called a docu-musical before.
I was just wondering if I missed that day in class, which is always possible. I was like, did I miss that day? So I was really coming to expect to hear you sing all the beautiful songs of Oscar Hammerstein, and he's just a legend in the business. And I sat there, and I did not know this until I was researching for our interview, that you curated the show. So do you want to tell us what a docu-musical is so people can get a sense?
Really, it's kind of hard to explain if you don't see it. Like, you were there, so you understand, what it means. But in a nutshell, I was approached to work with William Hammerstein, who is the grandson of Oscar, and learned about this amazing project, which we'll talk probably more about. But decided to lend my talents and my background to create a show. So we're like, well, what do we do? And I really wanted to obviously show the amazing music because of being a singer and wanting to show that, but I also wanted to teach the audience about Oscar and not really shove it down their throats like, oh this is boring, and you're in some kind of like lecture or something, but to really kind of just trickle in some of this knowledge and stories that I didn't even know. When I was sitting there making this show and going over hours and hours of this footage and finding these old things and these documentaries and splicing them together. I mean, I have this like hidden talent now where I'm this video producer now, and I said, I don't want to do it ever again. But it was a labor of love, and I put together all these amazing stories to really paint a picture, because we all know what Oscar wrote. But we don't know why he wrote it, or where he was in his life, or just the experiences. And I really wanted the audiences to be obviously thoroughly entertained, but to come out learning a little bit more about this incredible man.
And so that's exactly what happened for me. I had no idea that his music was part of so many commercials. I did not know that really it was thanks to his lyrics that led into a whole new genre for Broadway musicals.
He was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
I mean, his musical in 1927, Showboat, with Jerome Kern, I had no idea when I was researching that was the first integrated black and white on stage for the very first time ever. That was the first musical to ever see that. And to think about the first interracial kiss on television didn't come until, I believe, like the 60s. So think about from 1927 to all the way to 1960. Look how groundbreaking he was to really do that. And he did that in so many of his musicals. South Pacific, where he was talking about racism and bigotry.
Yes.
And really, he's always had a little bit of some kind of some deeper meaning in all of his musicals.
And really that's what he brought to musical theater, right? Because musical theater was very different before he entered into the scene.
It was what they call like a tired businessman kind of special kind of thing, where people would go, they'd see pretty costumes, beautiful girls, hear these big lavish musical numbers, and they were entertained, but it never hit you. It never was emotional. It never grabbed at a social cause or a thing and pushed the boundaries. And he really did that. He was the first one. I mean, even Oklahoma has elements of sex and things like that in there, where you're thinking Oscar and Rodgers and Hammerstein having sex in it. And Hammerstein's the first one to say it's the best thing to write a musical about. But he always did it in a very classy way.
What I was so amazed when I was listening to you, you would talk about or sing about kind of these songs about women loving men, right? And I was like, wow, how did Oscar have such an understanding of how women think about men and men that they love and falling in love?
One thing I learned that was very interesting, and if you really pay attention, and obviously I went through, we do over 30 of his songs in the show, which is incredible to say, just alone, besides the footage. But just that he was very existential with his lyric writing. It was always, if I loved you. Or, songs were always never, hey, I love you, la la la, like a lot of Broadway musicals or these big, I love you, I love you. And he was more about thinking about it. If I loved you, these are the things that I would do. These are the things I would say to you. He was never really committal in some of his lyrics, which was a very interesting take, and it really makes the audience a little more thoughtful in the whole, hitting you over the head with this is, love, where it makes you think a little more. It's just, he was a master at what he did.
He kind of brings you into the story with his lyrics.
He did, and he was very, like with Oklahoma, he really studied the dialect. He learned about these people, like, Oklahoma settlers and people. He really immersed himself and went onto his farm, Highland Farm in Doylestown, and really sat there and looked at the rolling pastures and felt all these things, so that he could come out and write these words that when you hear them, he saw them, or he felt them. There's a lot of writers who write and they're not authentic. You don't feel it.
Yeah.
You feel what he's writing.
And he came from an entertainment background, right?
Yeah.
And this is also I did not know, and I just have to say that why it was so pleasurable. Not only are you have the most amazing voice, and the way you acted out each song, and your partner David also, just a true talent. But when you are soaking in the documentaries, which were so well kind of paced out, really we learn best when we're enjoying and having fun.
Yes.
So that is one of the reasons why it was such a great way to learn, because I was just sitting there enjoying myself.
You didn't know you were being educated.
I didn't know I was being educated, and that's best for me. That's best for me. Just try to sneak it in there.
That's me too.
But I just felt like I wanted to learn more about this man. So these are all the things I didn't know.
They wanted to learn more.
Yeah.
When they left, they really wanted more. They wanted more video. I said, well, what do you want this to be, like a week-long series, like a Harry Potter two-parter?
He's that interesting, though.
He really, that was the hardest part about creating the show, was what do you pick? He had over 850 songs. How do you pare down to 30?
So how did you do that? And Doreen also has like an amazing musical background. You have a master's in music. I think that's a little bit unusual for people in the music business. They don't tend to have master's degrees.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Well, my start was in opera. So I do appreciate, it's very interesting that Oscar's father, and his grandfather was the famous, Oscar the First, who was the, famous impresario. All right behind us in Times Square, where we are. It's amazing.
It's like the perfect location, right?
I mean, you could throw a stone and hit one of his amazing opera houses, and it was just weird that my path all along has been kind of with Oscar in this really weird way. And so finally, at this stage in my career, after doing so many things and being, Billboard charting and all these things, and my own independent career, to come back doing it at this age and at this stage, everything that I've learned and experienced, and to come back giving the best that I can here in the heart of Broadway, it was just, I mean, I cried. I have to admit, I cried in the beginning when we first got to the theater. I cried when it was over. I think there was a moment in the middle when I'm just standing there in the theater and I'm thinking, I'm going to cry now. It's something really emotional, because you work so hard at this. And when you're an independent, it's so hard. And you need those breaks, and you just, so many people work so hard and they never make it here.
It's like body, mind, and soul when you're really invested in a project.
It is.
So it's like all of you. And the fact that Oscar's grandson, I think we have a picture of him as well, chose you for this project. I mean, how did that happen, and how did that feel? We have a picture of him. He's a good-looking guy, too.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah,
that's Will.
Yeah.
met by, like, you know what they say, I don't know, serendipitous kind of thing, where I was at a album release party, a single release for Unstoppable, which I wrote for my good friend Joe Frazier. And we did this big release party for the video in Philadelphia, and the person who was doing PR for me at the time invited Will and his wife Mandy, and they brought little Oscar, who's Oscar the Fourth. He's the heir to the throne. He was adorable. He's like, you know, 6 months old in his little bow tie.
Oh my God.
We got to talking, and I learned about Highland Farm, where Oscar lived and wrote almost every song from Rodgers and Hammerstein, and really, it's in jeopardy. It's being threatened to be torn down.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, this can't happen. This is why I sing. This is, you know, these are the roles I did. So I decided to put this all together so we could raise money and raise awareness and save this amazing piece of history. Because if we don't save this, I don't know what we save.
We have to save our history, and our buildings mean something.
They do, and it's not just the place. It's what's in. When I went in there and I performed for a press conference there, and to sing "You'll Never Walk Alone," those words, I'm getting goosebumps, at his piano, in his living room, feeling that feeling of being in his home and saying these words and trying to honor him and save his history. Yeah. There's just something way beyond me and way beyond this whole thing. It's something much greater.
It's purposeful.
Yes, and we really have to save it. We have
to. So what's the status right now?
Well, we did so well. Off-Broadway is an amazing success. We only did it for 2 weeks just to test the waters and see, so we didn't, you know, bust our load right away and kind of thing, and we really... We did very, very well. So now we're in talks to bring it back in spring of 2019 for a full run.
Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. Best of luck. So hopefully, if anybody is out there watching and wants to invest, they certainly, listen, why not? I asked for money on this show. Is that rude? I don't know. I just figured, you know, people want to share. Why not? Now, is Will also in the business?
He really isn't. He's a lawyer. And he has really dedicated his life now to the organization and the foundation to try to save this property as well. So
he took a very different route.
He did.
So fascinating.
And, so he's kind of learning the ropes through all this.
Well, he said amazing things about you. He said Doreen's talent and personal values make her a perfect torchbearer for this exemplary legacy of Oscar Hammerstein. I'm sure Oscar would be very pleased with the association. So it doesn't come any greater than that.
I asked one time before I ever found out he said that. And I did it. No, he never knew I asked, but I asked David and my manager and people, do you think that Oscar would be happy that we're doing this? Do you think he would like what I'm doing? And I said, I'll never really know. And then when Will, it was like almost again meant to be that this quote came out about it, and I didn't even know he did it. I found this quote that he put out, you know, on the organization's page, and it was just like, you know, sometimes you just feel it's
and
like
you were the chosen one.
You know, it's kind of like that.
So
like
you were the chosen one.
The light is going to beam down.
So the family had an instinctual knowing. And just of note, you also have a successful career as a country singer.
I did. I started out mainstream and country, and then I crossed over to adult contemporary, and that's really where I made my mark on Billboard. And with the song Toy, it reached number 31 in the adult contemporary charts, and I was on the Billboard Hot 100.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's completely different. If somebody goes and listens to Toy right now, first of all, I was red hair, and it's a little bit of different kind of...
And you did modeling?
Well, that was long,
And you did... and you did some hosting.
I've done...
as well.
I've tried my hand at hosting. I find it to be... I love it. I love what you do, but I like being on this side better. I do like this side, and I can't ever give up the music. I love the music so
listen,
much.
I don't know. I talk about this like it's a fantasy because I've never done anything with it, nor will I ever, for good reason. I can't sing. But I think to be an international rock star would be so cool. Like, but when you don't have a good voice,
you learn the power chords on an electric, and you are good to go.
Yeah, I'd have to have music that would sound me out. Now, we are fortunate today to have you sing for us, and I'm just going to get this right because you picked out 2 songs that you're going to sing for us. And is it Can't Help Loving That Man? Is that the first one?
Yep.
Okay, so that's from Showboat, and we have the fabulous Lou Lanza, who is also the musical director of the Off-Broadway show. So that's when we first met, and you joined us today, and you'll be playing the keyboards as Doreen sings. So fabulous. Take us away. Are you standing up while you sing?
I think I better.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of the way. This is where I exit, and I come back later. Okay, all right. I'm going to sit and enjoy.
All right, let's go for it. Woo.
brothers and sister, I love my Mr. Man, and I can't tell you why. There ain't no reason why I should love that man. It must be something that the angels done plan. Fish gotta swim and birds gotta fly. I gotta love one man till I die. Can't help loving that man of mine. Tell me he's lazy, tell me he's slow, tell me I'm crazy, maybe I know. Can't help loving that man of mine. When he goes away, that's a rainy day. But when he comes back, that day is fine. The sun will shine. He can come home as late as can be. Home without him ain't no home to me. Can't help loving that man of mine. Take it away, Lou. When he goes away, that's a rainy day. But when he comes back, that day is fine. The sun will shine. The sun will shine. He can come home as late as can be. Home without him ain't no home to me. Can't help loving that man.
That was incredible. Now I get chills. How does it feel to just sing that song and just convey the meaning behind it?
It's amazing, especially knowing that's my favorite. That's my favorite musical.
Do you sing that to the various men in your life?
You know what?
I would.
I can help loving that man, maybe.
You change the words around. You change the words. You'd be like, I can't help it.
Yes, I can.
And I will help it.
Yes, I will.
All right. So the next song that you're going to sing for us is "You'll Never Walk Alone" from Carousel, and you chose this song because
I think to me it's the most meaningful lyric. It's the most simplistic I think that he wrote, in my opinion, but it conveys the deepest meaning for me, and it just on a level that's much deeper than people I think even realize. That it's just there's a spiritual meaning. There's a lot of different meanings, and I think out of all the songs he's ever written, Showboat is my favorite musical that he's written, but out of all the songs, this is my favorite song that he wrote.
All right, so we're going to listen to this next and take it away.
Walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be torn. wind blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Walk on. Walk on. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone.
So powerful, really so powerful. So where can people find you now? Because I believe you're looking to book this show.
Right now we're booking, and
Okay.
in the meantime, until we return to Broadway in 2019 spring, 2019, we're going to try to go to LA. We're going to do probably Florida. We're looking at a bunch of places right now. So yeah, any theater company that would like to book us, we're a full
Great.
touring production, and yeah, any.
Well, we're putting it out there, and also
and
we
we're
will.
raising money to save the farm, which is good. We're not just a
Oh,
great
good.
production, but we're raising money.
So let me ask you. Your website up, which we're going to do, and people want to find out about how to save the farm or how to contribute to the
please reach
cause.
out.
Reach out to
Yes,
you, and
I
that's
do my own social media.
Okay.
I actually will respond to you. If you write to me and you have something to say, I'm actually the one behind
you're
it.
really good. You're really good at responding to me, so
Yeah,
that
no,
makes me feel
yeah,
so good.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much for starting off our new year in
Happy
this
New Year.
amazing way, talking live 2018. And Doreen Taylor, we are going to have her website up. And thank you so much for joining us and coming back for our second year. And we will see you next week. Have a great one.